Welcome back, everyone. Well, the deal is done. Governor Cuomo, Senator Dean Skelos, and Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver reaching an agreement today on the $132 billion budget.
There are no new taxes in the budget. There are no new fees. It is a very honest, straightforward document that exhibits the fiscal discipline and fiscal integrity that we've been talking about. It also evidences the priorities that we've been talking about. It's all about jobs, jobs, jobs. It's all about economic development.
Our budget director.
You heard of jobs, jobs, jobs. Well, joining me now to discuss the highlights of this budget is Brad Gerstman, who just drove from Albany to the island. He's a partner at Gotham Government Relations in Roslyn. It's a company that provides business development and lobbying services for companies and nonprofits. Appreciate your time again.
Sure.
As always. So it seems like this is a big budget, $132.5 billion. It seems like this was pretty easy to pass. Was it because they worked out a lot of contentious issues beforehand?
Yeah, sure. It's first of all, the budget has, I think it's a 2% increase year over year, so it's really well within actually the cap that the government.
That's a spending growth.
Yes,
it's 2%
absolutely.
Capped, right.
So really, the governor's done a terrific job on it from a fiscal standpoint. But as far as the budget usually contains a whole bunch of different issues, and there were some major ones that were supposed to be in the budget but were plucked out. And a week ago, they were passed by both houses. So those two were obviously the Tier 6, which is the pension reform, which goes in large and be able to stop the escalation of those employee costs. And additionally,
which is amazing that he got that passed in a way. I mean, he really has been able to work. Is it a different atmosphere up there now? Because you see in past years that you really have had a contentious legislature to the governor.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest theme about this budget, and I think what it signifies again is that there is harmony in Albany. Yeah, there are different, everyone has a different position ideologically, but at the end of the day, they know that they look best. They're doing New Yorkers the most best by passing budgets, being fiscally responsible. But on the other hand, you're seeing a lot of anger from some of the special interest groups. When I say a lot, as much as I've ever seen in my life, especially from the unions who have been big supporters, especially of the Assembly Democrats, when they passed that Tier 6 pension reform, that was a major, major signal to the unions that, hey, we're not sure who our friends are.
Right. Now, any big surprises in this budget this time?
Well, I would say really, again, the surprise was, the Tier 6 and the standardized review of teachers before the budget. But other than that, there were no big surprises. I think this budget was very straightforward once you took those pieces out. What is nice to see, obviously, is and streamlining of the state government, and what that will help, especially with this New York, Works task force.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the issues that are, the big parts that are in this budget. The New York Works task force, and that's about a $16 billion annual capital revenue that's going to be put to different projects, right? Infrastructure building?
Absolutely, including the Tappan Zee Bridge and all the other projects. Now, you'd say, well, where did all this money come from? The truth is, especially for this particular piece, this New York Works task force, is it comes from some of the agencies. So what this task force is
and we're actually looking at video right now. This is the East Side Access that they're building right now. This is going to be part of that program.
Absolutely. And some of these things were already in play, on the radar, or in motion. But what it is doing, and what the governor is saying, is, you know what, we had all these different capital project review teams. Now I want to put it under one roof and say, okay, why don't we look at it together? Because all these agencies could be putting all the projects in one area of the state, and they don't know. They're not looking at what the other ones are doing. So this is really a good plan, and it's part of the governor's bigger concept on how to run government. He campaigned on this, a way of streamlining it, and I think he's doing an outstanding job in starting that process.
And we only have about 30 seconds left. There are some big issues that are going to take longer than 30 seconds to answer, but the Gaming Commission is working to amend the Constitution to come on. What, as a Long Island, am I going to expect coming out of this budget, or what am I going to see in the near future?
Sure. Well, we have Belmont Raceway, which obviously there are opportunities that could exist, but there's going to be gaming all over New York State, and they put together this commission again that pulls together the lottery and the racing and wagering and and even the bingo halls, and it pulls it all together. it's considering the fact that we're going to be having a big gaming piece in this state very shortly, like New Jersey, and hopefully we'll do it better, of course.
Well, I appreciate your time, Brad, as always, coming down here, driving from Albany and stopping by here. I appreciate that. They're going to vote on it this week. We'll see if it passes. It certainly seems like they're going to.
It's a done deal.
All right. Thank you very much. And when